I used my principal's master key to enter Westfield High at 10 p.m. on a Tuesday. The brass key was warm in my pocket, body heat keeping it alive. It jingled when I walked. That sound has been part of my life for 11 years, familiar, comforting. The red lanyard was frayed from daily use. I'd forgotten my briefcase. That's what I told myself. I had a meeting with the school board in the morning about the levy vote, the levy, 2 weeks away, $12 million for 1,800 students, new computers, art programs, music teachers, guidance counselors, everything. The building was dark, silent. I unlocked the side door. The hallway smelled like industrial cleaner and teenage body spray. Lockers lined both walls. I passed the main office, my office. The plaque on the door, Robert M. Carson, principal. 27 years in education, 11 years here at Westfield. I know most of my students by name. I go to their football games, their plays, their concerts. I hand out diplomas and shake their hands and tell them I'm proud of them. My wife says I love this school more than I love her. Maybe she's right. I heard laughter from the gymnasium, low, intimate, the kind of laughter that means secrets. I stopped walking. The gym doors were closed, but light leaked underneath. Who would be here at 10 p.m. on a Tuesday? I walked closer, quiet. The master key gave me access to everything in this building, every classroom, every office, every closet, every secret. Through the gymnasium window, I saw my wife kissing my daughter's fiancé, Jen, my wife of 24 years, her hands in his hair, Derek, my assistant athletic director, the man I hired 18 months ago, the man my daughter Madison was going to marry in 3 weeks. They were on the bleachers, second row. Derek's employee badge was still clipped to his belt, that distinctive Westfield High lanyard, blue and gold, school colors, my employee, my wife, my daughter's fiancé. I stood there for 3 minutes, maybe 5. Time stopped working. My heart was pounding so hard I could hear it in my ears. But I couldn't move, couldn't look away, couldn't process what I was seeing. Jen pulled back, smiled at him, said something I couldn't hear. He laughed, touched her face, gentle, tender, the way you touch someone you love. Derek Hamilton, 31 years old, former college soccer player, came to us from a school in Cincinnati, great resume, glowing references, the kids loved him, parents trusted him, I trusted him. He's been dating my daughter for 14 months. He proposed to Madison 8 months ago. Family dinner, got down on one knee, asked for her hand. I said yes. I hugged him. I called him son. I watched them kiss again through that window. My wife, my daughter's fiancé. In my school, on my campus, in the building I'm responsible for. I backed away. Quiet. They didn't see me, didn't hear me. I walked back down the hallway, past my office, past the main entrance. I saw the poster on the wall, blue and gold, school motto. Do the right thing! I passed it every day, 10,000 times. Never really saw it. Tonight it felt like mockery. I left through the side door, locked it behind me. The master key was heavy in my hand, brass, scratched, warm. This key unlocked the truth I didn't want to find. I sat in my car in the parking lot for 20 minutes, hands shaking. Couldn't drive, couldn't think. Just sat there staring at the building. At the light in the gymnasium window. My phone buzzed, text from Madison. Dad, can you approve the venue contract tomorrow? The school event coordinator needs it by Friday. I'm so excited. Getting married where you work, where you change so many lives. The venue contract. Madison wanted to get married in the newly renovated event space at Westfield High. The community room, beautiful space, floor-to-ceiling windows, capacity 350, perfect for a wedding. She'd asked me 2 weeks ago. I'd been honored, touched. My daughter wanted to get married at my school, the place I'd dedicated my life to. She saw it as sacred ground. I'd signed the contract that afternoon. 8 pages, school letterhead, my signature as venue approval authority. There was a coffee ring on page 2. I'd reviewed it over breakfast. I'd been careful, thorough, principal instincts. I'd approved my daughter marrying her mother's lover, in my school. I drove home, 1 a.m. The house was dark. Jen's car was in the driveway. She'd gotten home before me. How did she do that? Did Derek drop her off? Did they leave separately? cover their tracks. I walked inside, quiet. The living room light was on. Jen was on the couch, reading a book. She looked up, smiled. "Hey, you're home late. How was the meeting?" "What meeting?" I'd forgotten my lie. What had I told her this morning? "Good," I said. "Long. I made dinner. It's in the fridge if you're hungry." She went back to her book. Casual, normal, like she hadn't just been kissing our daughter's fiancé in my school gymnasium an hour ago. I went upstairs, our bedroom. We haven't shared it in 6 months. I sleep in the guest room now. We tell Madison it's because of my snoring. She believes us. Why wouldn't she? We're her parents. We don't lie to her. I lay in bed staring at the ceiling. My mind was racing. When did this start? How long has it been going on? Does Madison know? Does anyone else know? My phone buzzed again. Madison. Also, Derek and I set a date for the rehearsal dinner, November 20th, the night before the wedding. We're thinking the Italian place downtown. Can you and Mom come? We want to go over the ceremony timeline. November 20th. 3 weeks away. I started mentally reviewing the past 6 months. The late nights, Jen's real estate showings, Derek's recruiting trips, the way they avoided each other at school events, overcompensated, too casual, the way Madison glowed when she talked about Derek, the way she showed me her wedding dress, white, simple, elegant. She said Derek cried when she tried it on. "Dad, he cried. Can you believe it? He's so emotional, so sweet. I'm the luckiest girl in the world." I couldn't sleep. I got up at 4 a.m., drove to school, let myself in with the master key, went to my office, sat at my desk in the dark. The levee yard signs had been delivered yesterday, 400 of them, red and white corrugated plastic. Vote yes, Levy 2025, Westfield strong. I'd spent 2 hours after school planting them around the neighborhood, front yards, street corners, church lawns. Every sign was a promise. Trust us with your children, trust us with your money, trust us to do the right thing. Westfield strong. What does strength even mean? I thought it meant integrity, unity, standing together for kids. Now, it just felt like a lie. My family wasn't strong. My marriage wasn't strong. I wasn't strong. I was a principal who didn't know his wife was having an affair with his employee, who didn't know his daughter was about to marry her mother's lover. The sun came up. Teachers started arriving. Linda Martinez, my assistant principal, knocked on my door at 6:30. "Rob, you okay? You look haunted." I forced a smile. Principal mask. I've worn it for 11 years. "Just working on levy stuff, big 2 weeks ahead." She nodded, concerned. "Linda's been with me for 7 years. She knows when something's wrong." "If you need anything," she said. I nodded. She left. I stared at my computer screen, pretended to work. Inside, I was breaking into pieces. By 8 a.m., the hallways were full of students. Laughter, locker slams, the morning announcements, normal Tuesday. Everyone going about their lives. Kyle Henderson stopped by my office. Senior class president, good kid, sharp. Wants to study political science. "Mr. Carson, are you coming to the pep rally Friday? We're doing the levy presentation." "Wouldn't miss it," I said. He grinned. "You look tired, Mr. C. You working too hard?" Something like that. After he left, I opened my bottom desk drawer, the one with emergency supplies, aspirin, granola bars, spare tie. And underneath everything, a folder, personnel files. I kept copies of all staff files in my office. Derek's was thin. He'd only been here 18 months. Derek James Hamilton, age 31, born in Cincinnati, bachelor's degree in education, Ohio State, master's in athletic administration, University of Cincinnati. Previous employment, Harrison High School, Cincinnati. Athletic department, 2 years. Left in July 2 years ago. I flipped through his application. His interview notes, his references, everything looked clean, normal. Then I saw it. At the bottom of the file, a sticky note in handwriting I didn't recognize. Not mine. Must have been left by the previous athletic director. "See incident report. Close file." Incident report? I went to the main office, found Sharon, our file clerk. "Sharon, do we have any closed incident files on Derek Hamilton?" She looked uncomfortable. There might be something in the confidential drawer. Let me check." She came back with a thin folder, sealed. She handed it to me. Dr. Blackwell said this was resolved. Derek wasn't formally disciplined. Dr. Patricia Blackwell, our superintendent, my boss. I opened the file. It was a complaint from 2 years ago, before Derek came to Westfield. A teacher at Harrison High had filed a report. She said Derek had an inappropriate relationship with a parent. The parent was married. The relationship was discovered. The parent was the mother of one of Derek's students. The complaint was filed by the teacher, but the mother refused to cooperate, denied everything. Derek denied everything. No evidence. Case closed. Derek resigned from Harrison and came to Westfield. My hands were shaking. I closed the file, returned it to Sharon. Thanks. Back in my office, I locked the door, sat down, stared at the wall. Derek had done this before. Inappropriate relationship with a married woman, a mother, at his previous school, and somehow I'd hired him, given him access to our students, our staff, our families, our family. I went to my car, lunch break. I needed to think, needed to be alone. I drove to the parking lot behind the football field, empty, quiet. I opened Jen's text messages on my phone. We share a family plan. I have access to the account. I'd never looked before. Why would I? I scrolled back, months, looking for, what? Proof? There were dozens of texts to Derek, recent, from yesterday. Jen, tonight, same place. Derek, 10 p.m. I'll leave the side door unlocked. Jen, perfect. Rob has a meeting. He'll be gone. I read through more messages. April, March, February. They went back months, carefully worded, nothing explicit, but the pattern was clear. Conference this weekend? Translation, hotel. Need to discuss budget? Translation, meet me. Working late? Translation, affair. I found a message from 16 months ago, March of last year. Jen, thank you for helping me stage the condo. The photos turned out perfect. Derek, my pleasure. Dinner sometime? Jen, I'd like that. 16 months ago. Jen had sold Derek a condo. That's how they met. She'd staged it, helped him move in. They'd gone to dinner. Madison started dating Derek 14 months ago. July of last year, Derek met Jen first. I got out of my car, walked to the dumpster behind the gym, threw up, hands on my knees, heaving, empty. When I got back to my car, there was a text from Coach Brian Donnelly, Derek's boss, my athletic director. Rob, can we talk? It's about Derek. Urgent. I drove back to school, found Brian in his office. He looked uncomfortable, nervous. Close the door, he said. I closed it. He pulled out a folder. Athletic department credit card statements. 3 pages, multiple charges highlighted in yellow. The highlighter was still damp. He'd just marked them. Derek's expense reports don't match his travel log, Brian said. He said he slept in his car during recruiting trips. But look at these. He pointed to the charges. Hotels. Marriott Cleveland, March 15th to 17. Room charge, $347. Room service, $89. Late checkout fee, $50. That's not sleeping in a car, Brian said. I looked at the dates, March 15th and 17. I knew those dates. Jen had been at a real estate conference in Cleveland that weekend. She'd told me about it, said she was networking with potential buyers. There's more, Brian said. He pulled out another page. June Tuesdays of 4. Columbus, hotel charges, room service, double room. I checked Jen's calendar on my phone. Real estate conference, Columbus, June 2, 4. Every single hotel charge matched one of Jen's conferences. Brian was watching my face. Rob, I'm not trying to start drama, but this is school money, tax dollars. If Derek's using the credit card for personal travel, I'll handle it, I said. My voice was flat, dead. There's something else, Brian said. He pulled out Derek's employee file, the one I'd looked at this morning. He opened it to the back page. I called Harrison High, talked to the former athletic director, asked why Derek really left. He handed me a printout, email from Harrison's AD. Derek Hamilton resigned under pressure. We had a complaint from a teacher. She said Derek was having an inappropriate relationship with a parent, a married woman. The woman's daughter was on the volleyball team Derek coached. The teacher reported it. We investigated. The parent denied it. Derek denied it. But the teacher insisted she'd seen them together, multiple times. Hotels, restaurants. The teacher was the parent's friend. She felt obligated to report it. The parent was married? I asked. Brian nodded. Her husband was on our school board. Big donor. The whole thing was messy. Derek resigned. Clean exit, no scandal. The family moved away quietly. I stood up. Thanks, Brian. Rob, I don't know what's going on, but something's off about Derek. I've thought so for months. The way he talks about himself, the way he manipulates situations, the way he... Brian stopped, looked at me. Are you okay? I'm fine. I left his office, walked to the parking lot, got in my car, just sat there. Derek was a predator, a pattern, married women, preferably with connections, power, access. He'd done this before. He'd do it again. And he was engaged to my daughter. I drove home, 3 p.m. Jen's car wasn't in the driveway. Good. I needed to think. I went inside, walked through the house, looking for... What? More evidence? I already had enough. I went to Jen's car, parked in the garage, opened the passenger side door. Her real estate folders were on the seat. Listings, open house schedules, contracts. I opened the console, registration, insurance card, a handful of business cards, receipts, and a photo. 4x6, glossy. Real estate listing. The photo showed a condo, modern, clean lines, stage furniture, professional. In the corner, reflected in a mirror, I could see Jen, taking the photo. Her face was slightly blurred, but it was her. Dark hair, blue shirt. I turned the photo over, date stamp on the back, 16 months ago, March. The address was on the back too. I knew that address. It was Derek's condo, the one Jen had sold him, the one she'd staged, the one where they'd met. The corner of the photo was bent, worn, like someone had held it. Looked at it, kept it. Why would Jen keep this photo? I put it in my pocket, put everything else back, closed the console, went inside. If you've ever found something in your partner's car that changed everything, a receipt, a message, a photo, you know that moment. When your hands start shaking and you can't unfind what you just found. If you've been there, just type "found it" in the comments. You're not alone in this. I sat at the kitchen table. The photo in front of me, the bent corner, the date stamp, the evidence that my wife met Derek 16 months ago, 3 months before Madison started dating him. Derek pursued Madison after he met Jen. He planned this, calculated this. But why? What did he want? Access to our family? My job? A promotion? Or did he just like the game, the thrill, the power of sleeping with the boss's wife while engaged to the boss's daughter? My phone buzzed. Text from Madison. Dad, Derek and I are coming over for dinner tonight. Mom invited us. She's making lasagna, your favorite. See you at 6. I stared at the text. Dinner? Tonight. Derek and Madison, Jen and me, all of us at the same table, pretending to be a family. I couldn't do it. I couldn't sit across from Derek, couldn't watch him hold Madison's hand, couldn't watch Jen smile at him. I texted back, "Sorry, baby, emergency school board meeting, levy stuff, eat without me." Lie, but I couldn't face them, not yet, not until I figured out what to do. I drove back to school, empty building, 4 p.m. I let myself in with the master key, went to my office, locked the door. I pulled up Derek's file again on my computer, read through everything, his resume, his references, his interview notes. Then I pulled up his expense reports, every single trip, every single charge, cross-referenced with Jen's calendar, perfect match. Every time Derek traveled, Jen traveled. Same cities, same dates, same hotels. They'd been doing this for 16 months, under my nose, in my school, with my daughter as cover. I sat there until 9 p.m., lights off, building empty. Just me and the evidence? My phone buzzed, text from Jen. "Where are you?" Madison and Derek left. "Dinner was nice. You missed it." I didn't respond. Another text. "Rob, are you okay? You've been distant lately. We need to talk." We need to talk. That phrase. I'd heard it before, but not from Jen. From where? I drove home, 10 p.m., Jen's car in the driveway, lights on inside. I walked in through the garage. Quiet. Jen was in the kitchen, cleaning up. She turned, smiled. "Hey, I saved you some lasagna." "I'm not hungry." She frowned. Rob, what's wrong? You've been weird for 2 days. I'm fine, just tired, levy stress. The levy's going to pass. Everyone loves you. This community trusts you. Trusts me, because I'm the principal, because I'm Rob Carson, because I do the right thing. I went upstairs, guest bedroom, lay down fully clothed, stared at the ceiling. My phone buzzed. I picked it up. Email. From the school printer. Something Jen had printed earlier that day. I opened the attachment. It was a document, Word file, titled Baby Names, Girl, Baby Names. I scrolled down. A list, 20 names, with notes. Emma, classic, strong. Olivia, elegant. Grace, meaningful. At the bottom of the document, a date. Due date, June 15th, 2026. June 15th. I did the math, 40 weeks back, September, no, earlier. Week 12 would be late September. Conception would be March. The Cleveland conference. The hotel charges on Derek's credit card. I sat up, heart pounding. Jen was pregnant? We haven't had sex in 6 months, maybe longer. We barely touch. We sleep in separate rooms. This baby wasn't mine. I got up, went downstairs. Quiet. The kitchen light was still on. There was a note on the counter, Jen's handwriting. Went to bed. Love you. I opened the trash can. Nothing. I opened the recycling. There, under some junk mail, I found it. A box. Crumpled. Pink and white. Clear blue pregnancy test. Digital. The kind that tells you how many weeks. I pulled out the box. Smoothed it out. The plastic test was still inside. Still displayed. Pregnant 2 to 3 weeks. But that reading was wrong. That's from when she took the test. The test shows weeks since conception. She must have taken this test recently, within the past few days. I found the receipt in the trash. CVS, 5 days ago, October 28th. If she's 2 to 3 weeks showing on the test, but it's been 5 days since the test. She's about 3 weeks along since taking the test. So conception was early October. No, wait. These tests measure from conception, 2 to 3 weeks from conception. Add 2 weeks for the medical dating. That's 4 to 5 weeks pregnant in medical terms. And medical dating adds 2 weeks. So if she's 4 to 5 weeks pregnant now, early November, conception was mid-October. No, I'm confusing myself. Let me think clearly. The test says 2-3 weeks. That's from conception. Doctors add 2 weeks to that. So she's 4 to 5 weeks pregnant in medical terms. Conception was early October, mid-October. But wait, on the bottom of the trash, under everything, I found something else. A photo, thermal paper, ultrasound, grainy, black and white, but clear enough. The date stamp, November 1st, 4 days ago. The reading, 12 weeks, 4 days. 12 weeks, not 4 weeks. 12 weeks, 12 weeks and 4 days. I counted backward. 12 weeks from early November, that's August. No, July, late July, or early August. No. 12 weeks pregnant means conception was 10 weeks ago. 10 weeks back from early November is late August, early September. I stared at the ultrasound. My hands were shaking. The thermal paper was already starting to curl at the edges. Waxy texture, made a soft crackling sound when I unrolled it. I turned it over. Jen's handwriting on the back. Blue ballpoint pen, pressed hard. We need to talk. We need to talk. The same phrase she'd texted me tonight. 12 weeks and 4 days. Conception was... I pulled out my phone, opened the calendar, counted back. 12 weeks from November 1st. Early August. No. Wait. Pregnancies are dated from last menstrual period. 12 weeks pregnant means conception was about 10 weeks ago. 10 weeks back from November 1st is late August, around August 20th. I pulled up Jen's calendar, synced to my phone. Late August, August 18th to 20. Jen's calendar, real estate retreat, Michigan. I pulled up Derek's expense reports. August 18th, 20, Grand Rapids, Michigan. Hotel charges, the Amway Grand Plaza, room 512. Charge to school credit card, double room service for 2. August 20th, 10 weeks ago. The night this baby was conceived. Jen and I haven't had sex since March, maybe April. It's been so long I can't remember. We sleep in separate bedrooms. We barely talk. We're roommates, not spouses. This baby isn't mine. I stood in my kitchen at 11 p.m. holding an ultrasound photo of my wife's baby, a baby I didn't father, a baby conceived during one of Derek's recruiting trips, a baby conceived while Derek was engaged to my daughter. I sat down at the kitchen table, the ultrasound photo in front of me. The numbers stared back at me. 12 weeks, 4 days. My wife was 12 weeks pregnant with my employee's baby, my employee who was engaged to my daughter who was getting married in 3 weeks. 3 weeks. The wedding was 3 weeks away. November 21st, the invitations were being printed. The venue was booked, 350 guests. The rehearsal dinner was scheduled. The menu was chosen. Madison had shown me her vows last week. She'd been working on them for months. She'd asked me to proofread them. Dad, do you think Derek will cry when I say this part? I've watched you lead alongside my father, and I know what kind of man you are. Honest, kind, strong. The man I want to build a life with. I'd told her the vows were beautiful. I'd told her Derek was a lucky man. I'd lied to my daughter. The ultrasound photo curled inward on the table, the thermal paper trying to protect the image. But it was too late. The truth was out, visible, undeniable. 12 weeks and 4 days. My wife was having my employee's baby while my daughter planned to marry him. I didn't sleep that night. Couldn't. I lay in the guest bedroom staring at the ultrasound photo. The numbers. 12 weeks, 4 days. The evidence of my wife's betrayal printed on thermal paper that would fade in sunlight. Appropriate, lies fade eventually. Truth stays. At 6 a.m., I heard Jen get up, shower running. She left for work at 7, real estate office. I heard her car pull out of the driveway. I got up, put the ultrasound photo in my briefcase, the real estate photo, the credit card statements, Derek's employee file, all of it, evidence, a case I was building against my own life. I drove to school. Wednesday morning, 2 weeks until the levy vote, 3 weeks until Madison's wedding. My office felt different now. The principal's award plaque on the wall behind my desk. Ohio Principal of Excellence 2024. Wooden, heavy, brass nameplate. I'd been so proud when I got it. 6 months ago, May, right around the time Jen and Derek were booking hotel rooms in Columbus. The plaque felt like mockery now. Linda stopped by at 7:30, brought me coffee. "You sure you're okay, Rob? You look like you haven't slept in a week." "Levy stress," I said. She didn't believe me, but she let it go. At lunch, Jen texted me, "Can you come home? We need to talk." Those words again. We need to talk. The words she'd written on the back of the ultrasound photo. I drove home, noon. Jen's car was in the driveway. I walked in. She was in the kitchen, sitting at the table, hands folded, nervous. "Sit down," she said. I sat. She took a breath. "I'm pregnant." I waited. "I know we haven't been close lately, but I took a test last week. I went to the doctor. I'm 12 weeks along." 12 weeks, I said. Flat voice. "I know it's a surprise. We weren't trying. But Rob, maybe this is a sign. Maybe this baby is what we need to save our marriage." I pulled the ultrasound photo out of my pocket, set it on the table between us. She stared at it. Her face went pale. "You found that?" "I found a lot of things," I said. I pulled out the credit card statements, the hotel charges, the dates. I pushed them across the table, one by one. March 15 to 17. Cleveland, June 2-4. Columbus, August 18-20. Grand Rapids. "These are Derek's expense reports," I said. "School credit card, hotels, double rooms, room service for 2. I pulled out my phone, showed her calendar. "These are your conferences, same dates, same cities, same hotels." Her hands were shaking. 16 months, I said. "That's how long you've been sleeping with Derek, since he bought the condo from you, since you staged it for him, since you went to dinner. Rob, Madison started dating him 14 months ago, 3 months after you did. Did he pursue her because of you? Or were you both just convenient? It's not like that." "Then what's it like, Jen? Explain it to me. Make it make sense." She was crying now. "You're never home. You're always at school, at games, at meetings, with students. I've been alone for years, Rob. Years. I felt invisible." "So you slept with our daughter's fiancé." "It started before they were together. Derek and we connected. He saw me, really saw me. You haven't looked at me, really looked at me in 5 years. Does Madison know he made you feel seen 16 months before he asked her out? Her face went white. That's what I thought, I said. Derek loves her, Jen said. He really does. What we have, it's different. It's complicated. Is the baby his? Silence. Jen, is the baby his? She nodded, barely. You and I haven't been together in months, since March, maybe April. August, I said. Grand Rapids, the real estate retreat. That's when you conceived, 10 weeks ago. She looked at the ultrasound photo, the numbers, 12 weeks, 4 days. How long have you known? She asked. Since yesterday. What are you going to do? I stood up. I don't know yet, but I'm not sitting at dinner with you and Derek and Madison pretending everything's fine. I'm not signing off on a wedding venue for our daughter to marry your lover, and I'm sure as hell not praying over this baby like it's ours. Rob, please, think about Madison. Think about the school. The levy vote is in 2 weeks. If this gets out, I stared at her. You're worried about the levy? About your reputation? What about Madison? What about our daughter marrying the father of your baby? She doesn't have to know, Jen said. Derek and I can end this, quietly. No one has to know. Madison gets her wedding. You keep your job, the levy passes. Everyone wins. Everyone except Madison, who builds her life on a lie. I walked to the door. Rob, wait, I turned back. Derek makes me feel young, she said. Seen. You made me feel like furniture. Like something that just sits there, useful but not wanted, not desired. For years, Rob. Years. So you burned down our family because you felt like furniture. I left, got in my car, drove back to school. That night was the community forum, the big one. 400 people at the high school auditorium. Levy presentation, school board, local newspaper, TV cameras from Cleveland. The school board had asked me to speak, share my vision. Why the levy mattered, why this community should trust us with $12 million. I put on a suit, navy blue, red tie, principal armor. The auditorium was packed, 400 plus, standing room only. I saw faces I recognized, parents, teachers, local business owners, church members. I saw Jen, third row, left side. She'd come straight from work, real estate blazer, pearl earrings. She smiled at me. Supportive wife, playing her role. I saw Derek, fifth row, right side. Athletic department polo, Westfield colors. He nodded at me. Respectful employee, playing his role. I saw Madison, front row, center. She'd taken time off from her nursing shift to be here. She was beaming, so proud of her dad, the principal, the man who changed lives. Kyle Henderson, student body president, walked to the podium, introduced me. Mr. Carson has been our principal for 11 years. He knows every student by name. He shows up to our games, our concerts, our plays. He cares about us. When we asked him what Westfield Strong means, he said it means showing up for each other, choosing each other, doing the right thing even when it's hard. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Principal Robert Carson. Applause. 400 people standing. I walked to the podium. The lights were bright, hot. I could see the levy signs throughout the auditorium, red and white. Westfield Strong. Behind me on the stage, the principal's award plaque was visible on the wall. They'd hung it there for the presentation. Ohio Principal of Excellence 2024. I gripped the podium, looked out at 400 faces, trusting faces, faces that believed in me. I started my speech, the one I'd prepared, about investing in children's futures, about art programs and music teachers and guidance counselors, about the 1,800 students who deserved our support. I talked about test scores and graduation rates and college acceptance letters. I talked about the football team and the drama club and the robotics program. I gave my speech about community, about trust, about doing the right thing. Jen sat in the third row, smiling. Derek sat in the fifth row, nodding. Madison sat in the first row, crying, happy tears, so proud of me. 400 people applauded when I finished. Standing ovation. The newspaper reporter took photos. The TV camera recorded everything. I shook hands, smiled, thanked people for their support. Kyle came up to me after. Mr. Carson, that was amazing. You're the reason I'm voting yes. Well, I can't vote yet, But my parents are voting yes because of you. I watched Jen leave. She waved at me, mouthed, "Good job." I watched Derek leave. He gave me a thumbs up. I watched Madison leave. She texted me on her way out. "Dad, I'm so proud of you. You're going to change so many lives. Love you." Have you ever had to smile in public while your life is ending in private? Type mask if you know that feeling. You're not alone. I stood in that auditorium after everyone left, just me and the janitor. He was cleaning up, folding chairs, sweeping. "Hell of a speech, Mr. C," he said. "My kids go here. I'm voting yes." "Thanks, Marcus." I walked to my car, sat in the parking lot, stared at the building. 11 years, 27 years in education. Everything I'd built, everything I'd worked for. And I just lied to 400 people by not telling them the truth. The next morning, I called Derek to my office. "Close the door," I said. He closed it, sat down, relaxed, confident. The chair across from my desk. The chair where hundreds of students had sat, some crying, some defiant, some scared. Derek just looked comfortable. "What's up, boss?" he said. I pulled out his employee file, the manila folder, 2 inches thick. I dropped it on the desk, papers scattered. "Tell me about Harrison High," I said. His face changed, just for a second, then the smile came back. "Ancient history, I left on good terms." "You left because of an inappropriate relationship with a parent, a married parent, the mother of one of your students. That was never proven, but it happened." He shrugged. "People talk, small school, small town. Sometimes you need a fresh start." I pulled out the credit card statements, pushed them across the desk. "Tell me about these hotel charges." He looked at them. "Recruiting trips, you approved those. You said you slept in your car. Sometimes I got a room. If I was too tired to drive, room service for 2. Silence. Grand Rapids, August 18th and 20. Room 512. Amway Grand Plaza, $473 charged to the school credit card. Room service, $89. 2 dinners, 2 breakfasts. I pulled up Jen's calendar on my phone, showed him. My wife was in Grand Rapids that weekend, real estate retreat. Same hotel, same dates. He leaned back, still relaxed. Coincidence. Cleveland, March 15th and 17. You were there. Jen was there. Rob, I don't know what you think is going on. I know exactly what's going on. You've been sleeping with my wife for 16 months, since you bought that condo from her, since she staged it for you, since you two went to dinner. He didn't deny it, just watched me. Madison started dating you 3 months later, I said. Did you pursue her because of Jen? Or was Jen just convenient access to our family? I love Madison, he said, calm, easy, like we were discussing the weather. Is that why you're having a baby with her mother? His eyes flickered. Jen told you. I found the ultrasound, 12 weeks, conception in August, Grand Rapids. That baby's yours. He nodded, slow. Yeah, it's mine. Does Madison know? No? Are you going to tell her? He leaned forward, elbows on my desk, looked me in the eye. Rob, listen, what Jen and I have, it's complicated. It started before Madison and I got together. We tried to end it, multiple times, but we keep coming back to each other. While you're engaged to my daughter. I do love Madison. I really do. She's smart, beautiful, kind, everything I want in a wife. And her mother is what? A side project. Jen and I have a connection, chemistry, something we can't explain. But Madison is my future. Jen knows that. I know that. After the wedding, Jen and I will end things. Clean break. Madison never has to know. I stared at him. You think I'm going to let my daughter marry you, knowing you've been sleeping with her mother? Knowing you got her mother pregnant? What choice do you have? Derek said, still calm, still relaxed. If you tell Madison you destroy her, 3 weeks before her wedding, you think she'll thank you for that? You think she'll ever forgive you? She deserves the truth. She deserves a wedding, a marriage, a future. If you tell her, you take that away. You become the bad guy, not me, not Jen, you, the dad who ruined everything. I become the bad guy for telling the truth? You become the reason her wedding fell apart, the reason her heart broke, the reason her family exploded. He shrugged. People don't thank you for painful truths, Rob. They blame you for them. Get out of my office. Think about it. Derek said. He stood up. Madison doesn't have to know. Jen and I can end this, quietly. Madison gets her wedding. You keep your reputation. The levy passes. Everyone wins. Everyone except my daughter, who marries her mother's lover. He smiled. Only if you tell her. He left. Closed the door behind him. I sat there staring at the employee file, the credit card statements, the evidence. Derek was a narcissist, a manipulator. He thought he'd won, thought I'd stay silent to protect Madison, protect the school, protect my job. He was wrong. That afternoon, I had a meeting with Dr. Patricia Blackwell, my superintendent, my boss, downtown office, neutral territory. Her assistant showed me in. Patricia was at her desk, late 50s, sharp, political. She'd been superintendent for 8 years, good at her job, great at managing community relationships, mediocre at ethics. Rob, sit. How are you holding up? Big 2 weeks ahead. I need to talk to you about Derek Hamilton. Her face changed, guarded. What about Derek? I pulled out the credit card statements. He's been using school funds for personal travel, hotels, room service, trips that don't match his expense reports. She glanced at the statements. How much are we talking? $18,000 over the past year. She winced. That's significant. We'll need to investigate after the levy. After the levy? Rob, we can't have a scandal right now. The levy's polling at 62%. We need 60 to pass. If news gets out that we're investigating an employee for misuse of funds right before the vote. So we let him keep stealing? We handle it quietly, internal audit, after November 5th. 2 weeks, then we deal with Derek. There's more, I said. Derek has a history, Harrison High. He left because of an inappropriate relationship with a parent. I know, Patricia said. I stared at her. You know, when Derek applied, I called Harrison's superintendent. He told me about the complaint, but it was never proven. The parent denied it. Derek denied it. No evidence. The superintendent said Derek was a good employee, good with kids. I made the judgment call to hire him. You knew he had a complaint for sleeping with a married parent, and you hired him anyway. It was unsubstantiated, Rob. It happened again, I said. Here, at Westfield. Derek's been having an affair with a married woman for over a year. She's pregnant. The baby's his. Patricia closed her eyes. Jesus Christ. Who's the woman? I didn't answer. She looked at me. Rob, who is it? I can't tell you yet. Why not? Because it's complicated and personal. If it involves a student's parent, it doesn't, not directly. She leaned back. Let me guess. Staff member? I didn't answer. Rob, I've known about the rumors for 2 months. I stared at her. You knew. People talk, small community. I heard whispers, Derek and a married woman. But I didn't have proof. I didn't have names. And I couldn't launch an investigation based on rumors, not this close to the levy. You've known for 2 months that Derek might be having an affair with someone's wife, and you did nothing? I was waiting until after the levy vote to address it privately, quietly, minimal damage to the school's reputation. What about damage to the people involved? Rob, the needs of 1,800 students outweigh... I stood up. The needs of my daughter outweigh your politics. Her face changed. Understanding. Your daughter, Madison, Derek is engaged to... Oh God, the married woman is... I'm handling it, I said. But you need to know. Derek's termination is coming, with or without your approval. And I'm telling Madison the truth before the wedding. Rob, think about this. If you tell Madison now, the whole thing becomes public, her heartbreak. Your family drama. 2 weeks before the levy vote, this community will eat that story alive. And they'll blame the school. They'll blame us. 62% support could drop overnight. So, I should let my daughter marry him? I'm saying, wait 2 weeks, let the levy pass, then handle your family situation privately. Madison gets time to process. The school gets its funding. Everyone wins. I walked to the door. Rob, I turned back. I know this is hard, Patricia said. But you're not just a father, you're a principal. 1,800 students are counting on you. Their art programs, their sports, their counselors, their futures. 2 weeks. That's all I'm asking. 2 weeks of silence to protect them. I left without answering. I drove back to school, parked in my usual spot, sat there. 2 months. Patricia had known for 2 months. She'd let me walk around my own school, coaching Madison on wedding plans, working with Derek on athletic budgets, campaigning for the levy. While everyone knew, except me, my boss, my colleague, my supposed ally. She'd chosen politics over people, the levy over truth, funding over ethics, and she wanted me to do the same. 2 weeks of silence. That's what everyone wanted. Jen wanted silence. Derek wanted silence. Patricia wanted silence. Everyone wanted me to stay quiet so they could keep their lives intact, keep their reputations clean, keep their secrets safe, and all it would cost was my daughter's future. That night, Madison texted me. "Dad, are you free for lunch tomorrow? I want to show you something." We met at the school cafeteria. Thursday noon. Madison had a break between hospital shifts. She was still in her scrubs, pediatric floor. She loved her job. She slid into the seat across from me, bright, happy, glowing. "I'm so excited, Dad. 3 weeks, can you believe it?" Students walked by our table, waved at me. "Hey, Mr. C." Madison watched them, smiled. "You're like a celebrity here," she said. "They love you?" She pulled out a folder, cream cardstock, the wedding invitations, draft copies. "The printer needs final approval tomorrow. I wanted you to see them first." She slid one across the table, heavy paper, embossed gold lettering, beautiful. "Mr. and Mrs. Robert Carson request the honor of your presence at the marriage of their daughter Madison Rose to Derek James Hamilton." My name. Right there at the top. Requesting people's presence at my daughter's marriage to the man who got my wife pregnant. "What do you think?" Madison asked. "It's beautiful, baby." "I wanted your name first, before Mom's. You're the one who raised me. You're the one who taught me everything. You're the one I look up to." She pulled out a notebook. "I also finished my vows. I've been working on them forever. Will you proofread them? I want them to be perfect." She slid the notebook across the table, spiral bound, her handwriting, neat, careful. I read them. "Derek, I've known you for 14 months, but I feel like I've known you forever. You came into my life exactly when I needed you. You showed me what real love looks like, what partnership means, what integrity means. I've watched you work alongside my father. I've watched you lead with kindness and strength. I've seen how you treat people, how you care, how you show up. My dad always says, the measure of a man is what he does when no one's watching. And Derek, I've watched you when no one's watching, and you're exactly who you say you are, honest, kind, strong. That's the man I want to build a life with. That's the man I want to have children with. That's the man I choose." I finished reading, looked up. Madison was watching me, hopeful. "Do you think he'll cry?" she asked. I couldn't speak. "Dad?" "It's beautiful," I managed. "He'd be crazy not to cry." "I hope he cries. I want everyone to see how much we love each other." Kyle Henderson walked by, stopped at our table. "Hey, Mr. C. Ms. Carson." "Hey, Kyle," Madison said. 3 weeks, right? The wedding?" 3 weeks! That's awesome. Congratulations. Derek's a lucky guy." He walked away. Madison watched him go. "Your students are so sweet. They're excited for me." She turned back to me. "Dad, I need to tell you something." My heart stopped. "I've been worried lately about Derek." "Worried?" She looked down. Embarrassed. "A few months ago, I found some texts on his phone, flirty messages with someone. He said they were from before we met, from his ex. He showed me the dates. They were old, but She stopped. "You what, baby?" Sometimes I wonder if he was telling the truth. The texts seemed recent, but he swore they weren't. And I wanted to believe him, so I did. She looked at me. "Am I crazy? Am I being paranoid?" I took her hand. "No, baby, you're not crazy. But I feel crazy. I feel like I'm inventing problems because I'm scared, because getting married is scary and I'm looking for reasons to run." "You're not inventing anything," I said. "Your instincts are trying to tell you something. You should listen to them. But what if I'm wrong? What if I blow up my whole life because I'm paranoid? What if you're right? What if your instincts are protecting you?" She pulled her hand back. "You think I shouldn't marry him. I didn't say that. But you're thinking it. I can see it on your face. You don't like Derek." "Madison, is it because he's younger? Because he works for you? Because he's not what you imagined for me? It's none of those things. Then what? Why are you being weird about my wedding? You've been distant for days. You missed dinner. You're not excited. You won't talk to me about... I'm trying to protect you, I said. From what? From the truth. From heartbreak. From marrying the wrong man. From building your life on a lie. I just want you to be sure, I said. Really sure. Marriage is forever. You can't undo it. I am sure. I love him. He loves me. We're good together. Students walked by, laughing, talking, living their normal teenage lives. Everything simple. Everything clear. What if... Madison stopped, started again. What if something's wrong? What if my gut is right and something's really wrong? Would you tell me? Yes. Even if it hurt? Especially if it hurt. She smiled, relieved. Okay. Then I trust you. If something was wrong, you'd tell me. You always tell me the truth. She put the invitations back in the folder. I should get back to work. Shift starts in 20 minutes. But thanks for lunch, Dad. And thanks for always being honest with me. That's all I really need. Someone who won't lie to me. She hugged me, kissed my cheek, left. I sat in that cafeteria surrounded by students, surrounded by normalcy, surrounded by people who trusted me to do the right thing. And I just let my daughter walk away believing a lie. That weekend, Madison invited me to her apartment, Saturday evening. She and Derek wanted to talk about something important. I drove over, knocked. Madison answered, bright smile. Dad, come in. Derek was on the couch. He stood, shook my hand. Rob, thanks for coming. The apartment was small. 1 bedroom. Madison had moved in 6 months ago. It was decorated with photos. Her and Derek, her and me, family pictures. The wedding invitation was on the fridge, held up with magnets. Sit down, Dad, Madison said. We have something to ask you. I sat. They sat across from me. Derek took Madison's hand. Derek and I have been talking, Madison said. About kids, about family, about our future. My stomach dropped. We want to start trying right away, after the honeymoon. We want a big family, 3 or 4 kids. And we're not getting any younger, so... She smiled at Derek. He smiled back. We wanted your blessing, Derek said. I know it's traditional to ask before proposing, but this felt important too. Starting a family is huge. We want your support. Madison took my hand. Will you pray with us about this? About starting our family? I looked at Derek. He was watching me, calm, confident, challenging me, daring me. Madison took Derek's other hand, bowed her head. Dad, will you pray with us? I pulled my hand away. I can't. Madison looked up. What? I can't. Not yet. Why not? I need time. Time for what? To pray? Dad, you pray all the time. At school, at church, at home. Why can't you pray with us now? Derek squeezed her hand, sympathetic. It's okay, babe. Your dad's probably overwhelmed. Levy stress. Busy time. No, I said. It's not that. Then what? Madison asked. Her eyes were filling with tears. Why won't you pray with us? Why won't you bless our future? Because your future is built on lies. Because Derek is having a baby with your mother. Because everything you think you know is wrong. I just need more time, I said. I stood up. Madison stood too. Dad, you're scaring me. What's wrong? What aren't you telling me? I need to go. Dad, I left. Walked to my car, got in, hands shaking. Madison came out after me, knocked on my window. Dad, please, talk to me. What's going on? I started the car. Dad! I drove away, left her standing in the parking lot, crying, confused. I drove around for an hour, no destination. Just driving, thinking. Jen wanted silence. Derek wanted silence. Patricia wanted silence. But Madison deserved truth, and I couldn't give her both. Monday morning, I called Madison, asked her to meet me at my office after school. 4 p.m. Important. She texted back, Is everything okay? I couldn't answer that, because after today, nothing would be okay for a long time. I spent the day preparing, organizing evidence, the real estate photo, the credit card statements, the ultrasound, Derek's employee file, the private investigator's report I'd commissioned over the weekend, security footage from the hotels, timestamps, proof. I wasn't going to tell my daughter her mother was having an affair and her fiancé was the father without evidence. She'd need to see it, hold it, believe it. At 3:30, I told Linda to hold my calls, clear my schedule. What I was about to do would take time. At 4 p.m., Madison knocked on my office door. "Come in, baby." She came in, closed the door. She looked worried, scared. "Dad, you're freaking me out. What's going on?" "Sit down." She sat in the chair across from my desk. The same chair where Derek had sat 5 days ago. The same chair where hundreds of students had sat over 11 years. Some leaving relieved, some leaving devastated. Madison would leave devastated. "Before I start," I said, "I need you to know that I love you. Everything I'm about to tell you, I'm telling you because I love you, not to hurt you, to protect you. You're scaring me." "I know, I'm sorry." I pulled out the real estate photo, set it on the desk between us. 16 months ago, Mom sold a condo, this condo. She staged it, took these photos. That's her in the mirror, see? Madison picked up the photo, studied it. "Okay, so? Look at the address on the back." She turned it over, read, looked up. "This is Derek's address." "Yes. Your mom sold Derek that condo, March of last year, 16 months ago. They met, they went to dinner, they started seeing each other." Madison's face was confused. "Seeing each other? Like dating?" "Yes. But Derek and I started dating 14 months ago. July." "I know." Understanding started to dawn, horror in her eyes. No, Dad, you're saying..." I pulled out the credit card statements. "These are Derek's expense reports, school credit card. Look at the dates, March 15th, 17, Cleveland. Derek was at a recruiting event. Mom was at a real estate conference, same hotel." I pulled out my phone, showed her Jen's calendar. June 2 upon Columbus, same thing, Derek, Mom, same hotel. Stop. August 18th, 20, Grand Rapids, Michigan. Derek charged a double room to the school credit card, room service for 2. Your mom was at a real estate retreat, same hotel, same weekend. Dad, please stop. I pulled out the private investigator's report, security footage screenshots, timestamps. Derek and Jen entering hotel rooms, together, multiple cities, multiple dates. I hired a private investigator. I needed to be sure before I told you. I needed proof. Madison was staring at the photos, her hands shaking. The screenshots showed her mother and her fiancé, walking into hotel rooms, holding hands, kissing in lobbies. "This can't be real," she whispered. I pulled out the ultrasound photo, set it in front of her. "Your mom is pregnant, 12 weeks. This is from last week. She went to the doctor, got this ultrasound." Madison picked it up, stared at the numbers. 12 weeks, 4 days. I thought she couldn't have more kids. She told me that. After I was born. Complications. I thought so too. "Is it?" She couldn't finish. "Your mom and I haven't been together in 7 months. We sleep in separate bedrooms. This baby isn't mine." Madison turned the ultrasound over. Read the handwriting. "We need to talk." Jen's handwriting. "Derek is the father," I said. Conception was August 20th. Grand Rapids, the real estate retreat. The hotel room he charged to the school credit card. Madison was crying now, silent tears, staring at the ultrasound. "Your mom admitted it," I said. "I confronted her last week. She told me everything. The affair started 16 months ago. Derek pursued you 3 months later. I don't know if he did it because of her or if you were just convenient." "Convenient," Madison repeated, flat voice. "I confronted Derek too. He said he loves you. He said what he has with your mom is complicated, but you're his future. He said after the wedding, he and Mom would end things, quietly. He said you never had to know. But you're telling me, because you deserve the truth, because I won't let you marry him without knowing who he really is." Madison was shaking. "But Mom helped me pick out bridesmaid dresses. She cried when I tried on my wedding dress. She's been planning this with me for months. How could she? I don't know. Does she love him? Derek? Is she in love with him? I think she's in love with feeling young, feeling wanted. She said I made her feel like furniture, like I chose the school over her, over us." That's not an excuse, Madison said. Her voice was getting stronger, angry. That's not a reason to sleep with your daughter's fiancé. That's not... She stopped, looked at me. Oh my God, I'm having a baby brother or sister who's Derek's child, my fiancé's child, with my mother. I'm sorry. How long have you known? A week, since last Tuesday. The night I came to school late, I saw them. In the gymnasium. I was going to leave your mom. I'd already decided. And then I overheard them, saw them, everything changed. A week, you've known for a week. I wanted to tell you immediately, but I needed proof. I couldn't destroy your life based on what I saw through a window. I needed to be sure. Madison stood up, paced. The levy vote is in 9 days. If this gets out, I know. Your job, your reputation, the school. Dad, this will destroy everything. I know, but you're telling me anyway. Because you matter more than my job, more than my reputation, more than the school. You're my daughter, and I won't let you build your life on a lie. She stopped pacing, stared at me. 3 weeks. The wedding is in 3 weeks. 350 people. The venue, the caterer, the photographer, Her voice broke. I wrote vows. I spent months writing vows about how honest he is, how much integrity he has. I was going to say them in front of everyone, in front of you. I know, baby. I read them. They were beautiful. They were lies. Everything was lies. Mom, Derek, the whole time, and She sat back down, put her head in her hands. I knew. God, I knew something was wrong. I found texts on his phone months ago, flirty messages. He said they were old, from his ex. I wanted to believe him, so I did. You're not stupid. You're trusting. There's a difference. I feel stupid. I feel like the biggest idiot in the world. You're not. Derek is a manipulator. He's good at it. He's done this before. At his previous school, Harrison High. There was a complaint. A teacher reported him for having an affair with a married parent, the mother of one of his students. Sound familiar? Madison looked up. He's done this before. Dr. Blackwell knew about it when she hired him. She made a judgment call. She thought the complaint was unsubstantiated. She was wrong. Does she know about Mom? About the baby? I told her last week. She asked me to wait until after the levy vote to do anything. She said 1,800 students' futures matter more than my family drama. Jesus Christ! We sat in silence. My office felt smaller, the walls pressing in. The principal's award plaque behind me felt like a weight. Madison whispered, I was going to name my first daughter Victoria. After Mom, I was going to work here after law school. Join your staff. We'd work together, be a family. But now... She looked at me, her eyes red, her face broken. Dad, I don't know who anyone is anymore. I came around the desk, knelt beside her chair, took her hands. You know who I am? I'm your father, and I will never lie to you. That's why I'm telling you this now, instead of letting you find out after the wedding. I will always choose truth over comfort, even when truth breaks both our hearts. She pulled me into a hug. We stayed like that for a long time, both of us crying. My 25-year-old daughter, my baby girl, sobbing in my arms while her world fell apart. When she finally pulled back, her face was different, older, harder. What happens now? She asked. That's up to you. It's your wedding, your life, your choice. Do I have a choice? I can't marry him, not after this. You could, I said. You could pretend you don't know, go through with the wedding, try to make it work. Is that what you want? I want you to be happy and free and married to someone who deserves you. Derek doesn't deserve you. What about you? What are you going to do? I'm filing for divorce, demanding a paternity test. And I'm firing Derek. He used school funds for personal travel, hotels, room service, $18,000 of taxpayer money for his affair with your mom. That's embezzlement. Good. Fire him. Destroy him. Madison? No, he deserves it. They both deserve it. Mom and Derek and Dr. Blackwell and everyone who knew and said nothing. They all deserve to lose everything. She stood up, wiped her face. I'm calling off the wedding today, right now. I'm calling Derek and telling him I know everything and it's over. Are you sure? I've never been more sure of anything in my life. She picked up the ultrasound photo, stared at it. I have a half-sibling coming, Derek's baby. What am I supposed to do with that? I don't know yet, but we'll figure it out. Together. She nodded. Put the photo down. Thank you for telling me. I know it cost you everything. The levy, your job, your marriage. Thank you for choosing me. Always, baby, always. She hugged me again, then left. I watched her walk down the hallway, past the lockers, past the students, past the poster that said, "Do the right thing." I'd just blown up my daughter's life 2.5 weeks before her wedding, and it was the most right thing I'd ever done. The next day I met with the school board, emergency meeting, 7 board members, Dr. Blackwell, Coach Brian, Linda Martinez as witness. I presented the evidence, Derek's credit card statements, the hotels, the room service, the expense reports that didn't match his travel logs. $18,000 of school funds used for personal travel, I said. I'm recommending immediate termination. One board member, Gregory Foster, pushed back. Rob, the timing is unfortunate. The levy vote is in 8 days. Can we wait until after? No, I said. Derek Hamilton is a liability. He misused school funds. He has a history of inappropriate relationships at his previous employer. And he's currently having an affair with a married woman. If we keep him on staff knowing all this, we're complicit. Dr. Blackwell looked uncomfortable. Rob, we need to consider the optics. The optics of firing someone for embezzlement or the optics of keeping him. The board chair, Thomas Reynolds, spoke up. I agree with Rob. This is cut and dry. Misuse of funds. We vote now. The vote was 6-1 to terminate Derek Hamilton. The dissenting vote was Dr. Blackwell. She said, the timing is unfortunate with the levy. Thomas said, the timing of the truth is never unfortunate. After the meeting, I went back to my office, drafted Derek's termination letter, added it to his employee file, called him in. He came at noon, closed the door, sat down. The board voted to terminate your employment, I said, effective immediately, misuse of school funds, $18,000 charged to the athletic department credit card for personal travel. You can't prove that. Hotel security footage, timestamps, your travel logs. It's all here. I pushed the file across the desk. He opened it, read. His face went pale. You're doing this because of Jen, he said. I'm doing this because you stole from students. The levy we're voting on next week, that money comes from the same taxpayers whose money you used to book hotel rooms with my wife. Jen and I are in love. Jen is pregnant with your baby while you're engaged to her daughter. That's not love. That's a crisis. Madison doesn't have to know. She already knows. I told her yesterday. She's calling off the wedding. Derek stood up. You told her? You destroyed her life right before the wedding? You destroyed her life when you started sleeping with her mother. I just gave her the information she needed to save herself. She'll never forgive you. Maybe not, but at least she won't marry you. He left, slammed the door. I watched him walk down the hallway, past students, past staff, past the athletic office. 15 minutes later, I got his resignation letter via email. Generic, template. Dear Dr. Blackwell and Mr. Carson, I resign my position effective immediately. Personal reasons. Thank you for the opportunity. I called him. Try again, I said. Write an honest letter or I release the investigation findings publicly. 2 hours later, a new letter arrived. I resigned due to personal misconduct. I misused school funds. I betrayed trust. I apologized to the Westfield community. Better, not great, but honest enough. That night I went home, filed divorce papers, adultery. Ohio is an at-fault state. I had evidence, photos, timestamps, witnesses. Jen's lawyer called the next day. Her father was funding her defense. Wealthy family, but I had evidence. The affair, the pregnancy, the hotels. Paternity test was ordered by the court. Standard and contested pregnancy cases. I moved out. Found an apartment near school. Small, quiet. I took my clothes, my books, my laptop, left everything else. The levy vote was 5 days away. The next community forum was packed. 600 people, bigger than the first one. The scandal had leaked. People knew. They'd heard rumors. Derek fired. Principal's wife pregnant. Daughter's weddings canceled. I stood at the podium, looked out at 600 faces. Some sympathetic, some judgmental, some just curious. I'm not here to make excuses, I said. My marriage is over. My daughter's wedding is canceled. My family has fallen apart. Some of you think I should resign. Step down. Let someone else lead this school. I paused. Let it breathe. Here's what I want you to know. I found out my wife was having an affair. I confronted her. I confronted her partner. I told my daughter the truth 2.5 weeks before her wedding, and I fired the employee involved. Murmurs, whispers. I did all of this knowing it would cost me, my reputation, maybe my job, definitely the levy vote, because truth matters more than comfort, and our kids are watching. I looked at Kyle Henderson, front row. He was watching me, listening. For 11 years, I've walked past a poster in our school hallway. Do the right thing. Our school motto, I've taught it, preached it, put it on t-shirts and banners and announcements. But this year, I had to live it, and it cost me everything. I pulled the principal's award plaque from my bag, set it on the podium. I won the Ohio Principal of Excellence Award last year. I was proud of it, hung it in my office. But excellence isn't trophies and awards. Excellence is telling the truth, even when truth is ugly. So, I'm donating this plaque to the school auction. The inscription should read, "Excellence is choosing integrity over image." I looked back at the crowd. I'm asking you to vote yes on the levy. Not because my family has it together. We don't. My marriage failed. My daughter's heart is broken. I live alone in a 1-bedroom apartment. But these 1,800 students deserve adults who choose truth over comfort, who do the right thing even when it costs everything. I gripped the podium. Westfield Strong doesn't mean perfect. It means honest. It means showing up even when it's hard. It means protecting our kids by being people worth trusting. Silence. 600 people staring at me. Then Kyle Henderson stood up. 17 years old, student body president, started clapping, slow, steady, deliberate. Then another student stood, started clapping, then another, then parents, teachers, board members, standing ovation. Not for perfection, for truth. If you've ever had to choose between what's easy and what's right, type truth in the comments. Would you have exposed the affair before the vote or stayed silent to protect the students? Type expose or silent. I want to know what you would do. The levy vote was November 5th, Tuesday. I voted at the school polling place. Students were working as volunteers. Kyle was there, checking IDs, passing out ballots. "Mr. Carson," he said, "good luck today." "Thanks, Kyle." "My dad says you're the reason he's voting yes. He says you showed us what integrity looks like." I voted, dropped my ballot in the box, went to my office, waited. Results came in at 9 p.m. Levy passed, 64%, 2 points higher than the pre-scandal polling. The community chose honesty over image, truth over comfort, students over politics. I sat in my office alone, looked at the empty space where the principal's award plaque used to hang. The wall was lighter there, cleaner, a ghost of what used to be. My phone buzzed, text from Madison. "Dad, did you see? The levy passed. Your honesty worked. I'm so proud of you." I texted back. "Proud of you too, baby. How are you doing?" "Hard, but okay. Angela is helping me cancel everything. Venue, caterer, photographer, DJ. 350 calls to make. I can help. No, I need to do this, but thank you." The next few weeks were brutal. Madison called every guest personally. 350 people. Some asked questions, most didn't. She said the same thing every time. "The wedding is canceled. I found out information that means Derek and I aren't right for each other. I'm grateful I learned this before the wedding, not after." Professional, dignified, strong. Some people asked for details. She said, "My father taught me that the truth will set you free. It has." The venue contract was voided. The deposits were mostly refundable. The dress was returned. The flowers were canceled. Madison took the engagement ring off, brought it to me. Grandmother's ring, platinum, 2 carats, Victorian setting, family heirloom. "This belongs to someone worthy of our family name," she said. "That's not Derek." I locked it in my office safe, wrote a note. "For a man worthy of Madison Carson. This isn't him." Derek left town, took a job at a private gym in Columbus. No school would hire him. His reputation was destroyed. Embezzlement, affair, pattern of behavior. Jen moved in with her sister. Filed for custody of the baby, got a lawyer. Her father's money funded everything. The paternity test came back, confirmed. Derek was the father. 9.97% certainty. Derek fought for custody rights, wanted visitation, wanted to be involved. It took 6 months, lawyers, mediation, court dates. Eventually, Derek married someone else, a woman from his gym. They agreed to co-parent, baby boy born in June, healthy. 7 pounds, 4 ounces. Jen kept the baby, got therapy, 2 years of work, processing, healing, growing. Madison chose to have a relationship with her half-brother, called him Ethan, visited, held him, chose compassion over bitterness. I set up a trust fund for Ethan, despite the divorce, despite everything. He was Madison's brother. That mattered. 1 year later, June 2027, Westfield High School graduation. Class of 2026. I stood in the back of the auditorium, watched students cross the stage, shook their hands, handed them diplomas. Kyle Henderson crossed, grinned at me. Thanks for everything, Mr. C. Proud of you, Kyle. Political science at Ohio State. You're going to change the world. After the ceremony, I walked the hallways. Students everywhere. Families, photos, laughter. A freshman stopped me. Mr. Carson, is it true you donated your principal award to the school auction? It is. Why? Because excellence isn't awards. It's doing the right thing when no one's watching. She nodded, smiled. That's cool. Students hugged me. Parents shook my hand. Thank you for what you did last year, for telling the truth, for showing our kids what integrity costs. I walked past the poster. Do the right thing. Someone had added something beneath it. Student handwriting. Blue marker, even when it costs everything. The levy had passed. Programs were funded. Art classes, music teachers, guidance counselors, new computers. Everything we'd promised. The community had voted for honesty. And the students were thriving. I was still principal, still Rob Carson, still showing up, still choosing truth. That afternoon, Madison gave a speech at her nursing school graduation, Cleveland Clinic. I sat in the audience, watched her walk to the podium, 26 years old, strong, whole, free. I want to talk about love, she said. Real love, not the kind in movies, the kind that costs something. She looked at me. 1 year ago, my father made the hardest choice of his life. He told me a truth that shattered my world. 2.5 weeks before my wedding, I was devastated, furious. I thought he'd ruined everything. She paused. But he didn't ruin everything. He saved everything. Because my father taught me that love isn't letting people stay comfortable in lies. Love is protecting people from beautiful lies, even when the truth is ugly, even when truth costs everything. She was crying now. Dad, I was going to marry the wrong man. I was going to build my life on a foundation of lies. You stopped me. You chose me over your job, your reputation, your comfort. You chose me. I was crying too. Everyone in the auditorium could see. So, thank you, Madison said. Thank you for loving me enough to break my heart so you could save my life. Thank you for teaching me what real love looks like. And thank you for showing me that the truth will set you free. It really will. Standing ovation. Madison came down from the podium, hugged me. We stood there crying while 200 people watched. I'm so proud of you, baby, I said. I'm proud of you, Dad. After the ceremony, we walked to my car. Madison was dating someone new, Angela's brother, good man, kind, honest, no games. Are you happy? I asked. Getting there, she said. Therapy helps, and time, and knowing that Mom is getting help too. How's Ethan? Perfect, 6 months old, starting to smile. You should come visit. I'd like that. We got to my car. I pulled out my keys. The master key was still on the ring. Brass, red lanyard, scratched from years of use. You still have that? Madison asked. Still need it. It unlocks every door in the school. It unlocked more than that. I looked at her. What do you mean? It unlocked the truth. The night you came back for your briefcase. You used that key. You found Mom and Derek. That key saved my life. I looked at the key, warm in my hand, heavy, real. Truth always unlocks things, I said. Sometimes doors, sometimes lives. Rob and Madison redefined what family means. Not who you're born to, but who shows up when the truth is ugly. If you've built your own chosen family through honesty, friends who became family, mentors who taught you integrity, people who loved you enough to tell you hard truths, tell me about them in the comments. I want to hear your stories. And if this story moved you, subscribe. I tell stories about integrity, betrayal, and the cost of doing the right thing. Real stories, true stories, stories that ask hard questions. I'll see you in the next one. I still carry that master key, every day, still walk the hallways of Westfield High, still shake students' hands, still show up to their games and concerts and plays, still do the right thing, even when it costs everything, because excellence isn't perfection. Excellence is choosing truth when lies would be easier. Excellence is protecting your children from beautiful lies. Excellence is walking away from comfort to find integrity. 1 year after everything fell apart, I stood in my school during graduation. Students hugged me, parents thanked me, Kyle Henderson told me I changed his life. Madison graduated nursing school, started dating a good man, chose to love her half-brother Ethan despite everything. Jen got therapy, learned to co-parent, grew up. Derek moved away, married someone else, eventually learned to be a decent father. The levy passed, students thrived, programs grew. Westfield Strong meant something real, and I learned that sometimes the worst thing that happens to you becomes the best thing you ever did. Because truth set us all free, even when freedom hurt, even when freedom cost everything, even when freedom looked like loss. The master key is still in my pocket, still jingles when I walk, still unlocks doors. But the most important door it unlocked was the one to truth. And behind that door was everything that mattered. My daughter's freedom, my integrity, my life.